Today, we're very, very honored to welcome once again Mr. Mohamed Serageldin Elgedami. He is a seasoned business consultant with over 20 years of experience in guiding organizations towards achieving their strategic goals through innovative brand advertising, marketing strategies, media production, guerrilla marketing, and business development. We were so honored to host Mr. Mohammed Al Qidemi last month, and he provided a very engaging and a very interesting session on the psychology of marketing in the education field. I believe it was very important thinking about the subliminal messaging that we do with our educational innovation projects. And based on popular demand, we welcome Mr. Mohammed Al Gidemi again for a very engaging session on AI for business transformation. He has over 12 years, or more, over the past 12 years, he has been at the forefront of experiential marketing, pioneering the use of VR and AR technologies to deliver highly successful campaigns for leading brands such as PepsiCo, Vodafone, Palm Hills, and Orange and Adidas, including a Mo Salah AR campaign that achieved a fourfold increase in engagement, which is very exciting. Currently, he works with Gulf region leaders and global brands to leverage generative AI, LLM solutions, blockchain, and modern marketing frameworks to drive growth. He has also expertise including in developing multilingual chatbot implementations that have secured major government projects. We are so proud to welcome Mr. Al Gidemi again for a wonderful session on AI for business transformation. I will leave the floor to you, Mr. Muhammad. I'm very looking forward to this, and thank you for engaging and really accepting our invitations once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for all the kind words that I've been receiving. Thank you for your kind words. I'm really honored to be with you today and every day, inshallah, for the rest of the program. And today we will talk about the business transformation from the perspective of generative AI, and especially because most of the companies that are leveraging or conveying artificial intelligence, especially for the large language models, they are most of looking at the business from the technical perspective. Most of the CEOs and for the startups, they are all technical background. So sometimes they need more of a business perspective, how the business people who are non-technical looking at generative AI, what they are expecting from it, and how we can provide them with the solutions. Inshallah, I will give you many examples on that and how we can think, and that's the main thing, how to think about our products or services to make it reach the business leaders without many jargons, because that would be the surprise that I'm coming to you with it, that selling the product is not for the CTOs. That's the surprise. We don't sell for the technical people as much as we sell for the business people. That's we will come to that later in the presentation. So let me uh, share my screen. Here we go. I think everyone is seeing my screen right now.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay, that's perfect. So let's begin. So that's the same slide you've been seeing last time about me, my son, and my little daughter, and my wife. So I will skip that for this time because I think you're the same participants. Am I correct?
Yes, most
Yeah.
of them are.
So
Yes.
okay. So let's move to the other thing. So the thing is, we need to know about digital transformation in general before we get into how we leverage AI with that. Because the aim for any business is the digital transformation plan that AI would be embedded in this plan rather than going for an AI tool or solution or something like that. No, we think about it as a digital transformation. The term digital transformation is about not using or utilizing a certain tool or a solution that is in the market. No, but we look at the business and we see how this business operating and dealing with customers, dealing with their own products and services from the perspective of technology, how we can transform the operation itself to be technological based rather than more long processes or redundant operations that may delay the success of a product or a service for other companies. So we transform how the business work with the technology. Like, I'll give you a broad example of that. If I'm like, for example, I have a store and I decided to put it online to have an online store for that's a transformation. Now I'm changing the whole business perspective from being on store on the roads for people to come to the store to a whole business perspective, which is digital. When I change that to be on Shopify, for example, and make it an application, so I changed how the business works. So I'm not looking for a solution and trying to sell this solution for the businesses. No, I'm looking at the business and how I can transform their work using technology and then provide them with the technology. And we'll get to that. If you're not feeling that this is very simple, it will be simpler in the coming slides, inshallah. So after the digital transformation has been there all the time. So what's new about generative AI and LMs? What is that from our perspective, not from the technical perspective? What we see from the large language model is the change in the input, processing, and the output uh, uh, of uh, of the machine. Because for us, it's not about algorithm and how the algorithm work and this kind of stuff. For us, it's the change on how we deal with the machine itself. So now I can give an input to the machine. Before that, if I want to give an input to a machine, I have to go to a developer or a coder or someone who knows how to talk to a machine. And then the machine itself, it doesn't as much process the information. It's only doing certain tasks that have been requested from the coder himself. So it doesn't understand what it's doing. It's just doing it. I'll give you an example for that. Imagine me, I'm coming to a student and tell him, you have to do one, two, three, and that's it. He doesn't know why he's doing that, and he has no idea how to think about it, or he doesn't even have uh, the permission to think about it. He just does the task as is. Now, no, the machine understands what I want and then starting to process what I want on its own. Then it creates an output, which is why it's called generative AI. Because, for example, if I tell you now, create for me a website for my company, okay, that's different now because it understands that I want to create something which is a website for the company. So it will look at the company and see what I need in it to create this website. Before that, if you tell it, for example, do something, you will have to give it a code. And this code doesn't give it as much to tell it to, or to get output that is different than what I'm expecting. Now, if I give it the same prompt and you give it the same exact word, it will give us both different output. Okay, so because it generates an output. Back in the days, if you are talking about before the large language models, if I give it an input and you give it the same input, we will both get the same output from it. I will explain more in the coming slides. But I want you to understand that the concept of now we can talk to the machine. I don't have to have someone to talk to the machine instead of me. We have left out the middleman. So now, whatever in my mind, as someone in the whole world who maybe doesn't know anything about developing or coding, now I can free up my mind and tell the machine what I want. So many people now have the access to start building something that they couldn't build or they couldn't tell it to a developer. Now they can tell it to the machine and the machine will understand it and know what you want and help you with that. That's just the concept of it. You don't need to understand everything now because we will explain more in the coming. So I want to give you an example for that about Gamma AI. Gamma is a platform. If you go to the Gamma, I don't know if many of you know it or not. They create presentations for you by natural language processing. So, for example, if I want to have a presentation for marketing psychology, so I tell Gamma I want a presentation on marketing psychology, and the platform created from scratch with all the pictures needed, all the infographics, all the wording, everything. So I want to tell you how that happens, so you understand the rest of the presentation actually, and the rest of the concept itself. So what they did is you are talking, the large language model has an interface called a chatbot. That's what you deal with as ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, uh, Mistral, uh, DeepSeek. All these chatbots are interfaces for the large language model. So when you talk on Gamma, for example, you are talking to an interface for the large language model they are using by APIs. Okay, so you tell it, I want a presentation on marketing psychology. What the large language model do now, they will understand that I want to create a presentation. So they will try to find information and give it to me in a shape of slide. So it will understand that I want to talk about marketing and psychology and how both concepts combine together. So it goes and finds the information, create slides for it, and then by the keywords, try to create pictures that is relevant to every slide and give the slide and then return with all the presentation itself. So it's all goes down to the same large language model, because the large language model who understood what I want and then tried to research the topic, and it understands that I want it for a presentation, so it started to put it in a slide format. Then, oh, you want to make a presentation on slides, so the slide must have pictures. Okay, so I will go and find pictures using the keywords on that slide. That framework didn't and could have never been available unless we had the large language model. Okay, so that's information. Up to now, before I get to how the large language model is trying to make it different for us for the data transformation, do you have any question for the last two slides? Okay, I'll make it harder for you because like people who were with me last time, I choose randomly, and I always started with John Woo because he's one of the best, yeah, engaging partners with us. And I will start to ask people for this, because if you are not asking anything about the slides that I've been talking about, then you know everything about it. So I will ask you in that slide. Deal? Right, it's Replit AI. Yeah, actually, Juhaima, Juhaima, we will talk about Replit in the presentation. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, it's the same idea as Gamma, but I kept it for the for the later slide because it's more related to that. But thank you for that. Yes, Replit is same as Lovable. For those who don't know Replit, it's more known Lovable platform. It's for vibe coding. So now I will pick someone to ask him about what we have now. So we have Mariam El Umairi. Mariam, can you please share with us what you had from the last two slides? Mariam El Umairi. Okay, Shad, come on. Guys, you know that in a couple of slides you will start talk. So talk now. John, John, you always encourage people to do so. So do you have something to say here? You don't have anything to say,
Um,
yeah?
it, mm, uh, hard to hard to understand last two slides because I'm not good at English, so I have to translate this slide to Korean. So
Uh,
my understanding is a little bit late.
that's perfect. How would you translate the slides into Korean? How would you do that?
And using ChatGPT, so like it's a part of using AI something.
So you will take the slides and give it to ChatGPT and tell it to say it in Korean, right? That's exactly what
Yeah.
large language models do. Because you don't have to just give it the script. No, you will give it the whole slide and it will give you the translation. And also, if you give it the slide and tell it that you want to explain it more, because, for example, the professor wasn't that good at explaining, so it will explain more for it without telling it anything except your natural language. That's exactly what it does. Uh, Someone was raising his or her hand, but I couldn't catch it. Who was raising the hand?
I
It
believe
was me.
it was Talkify team. Jenna, please go
Uh,
ahead, ask your question.
I think that he was talking about what we had in the previous slide. Beside his lovely family, God bless them, we talked about the uh, LLMs, which is the large language models, the input, the processing, the output. For example, the Gamma AI, and so on.
yes. So the reason I was talking about the last two slides is to understand that first of all, businesses need digital transformation. Okay, they need to make their work better, faster, more productive. Okay, so what we do is we see what we can do with digital transformation, what we can do with technology to enhance their work. Okay, using technology. That's the digital transformation framework. And then I described what is new about generative AI. So we will marry the both concepts now. But what I wanted you to know is we think digital transformation. We don't think about, yeah, that's generative AI is a new thing. When we need to use it, we need to use whatever tools. So I have to go every day to see what are the new tools on the internet to start using it. No, what we think of as business, and that's exactly what I do in one of my companies. We do that exactly. So I will give you a lot of examples saying that exact thing. So what we do is we see what technology can offer to the business to make it easier, and we add a layer of large language model in it. So if you are the takeout from these two slides, if you are making any business that's related to AI, you need to understand first digital transformation. Okay, and I can share with you a document about digital transformation so you can see it. But there are a lot of material out there on the internet. But you need to understand digital transformation before you go with an AI solution. Okay, so that's the thing. Now the large language models, because we have large language models now, we added a layer. This layer has two main pillars. The first pillar is a layer for the business users, which is maybe a CEO or a CMO who have no technical background, to talk to our solutions without having the middleman, which is technical team. Let me give you an example for that. I used to work for a telecom operator. And when I wanted to come up with an offer for the consumers, I what I had to do is to go to the data warehouse team, which is a technical team, to ask them to get me data. All right, and then I start to analyze the data. So the problem here is I have no access for the data unless I go to the technical team. All right. Now, adding the layer of the natural language processing, thanks to the large language models, now I can have a solution to get the data, okay, without having to go to the technical teams. So adding this layer is the magic of the large language models or the AI. Because now, first thing is I kept out the middleman, which are the technical teams. Second thing is I can now develop solutions based on the large language model understanding to the language. Okay, so I am not obliged to give the machine certain data to work on it and to never look out of it. No, I can give it the information and I make it analyze the information and give me different perspectives that I would have never looked at. Okay, so now the machine is a colleague. The machine is a colleague, someone with me at work to help me at work. That was the large language models did. This is a very important slide for those who want to make an AI solution or AI business in general. Listen to this. Every single business are trying to get more revenue as possible. That's the main goal of the business is to get revenue. Who brings the revenue to the company? The commercial department, the marketing department, and the sales department, all the commercial departments. Those are the people who are responsible of getting me the revenue. Okay, so technical teams are there to serve the commercial teams to help them get a revenue. So if I'm going to the chief technical officer and I'm telling him I have a technical solution that can make your life easier, first of all, he doesn't know how is it beneficial to the commercial department because he is not obliged to be knowing what the commercial departments need. He doesn't have to have a business background and to know what the daily tasks the commercial teams are doing every day. Okay, that's first. Second, you will build a friction between you and the client because basically what you are telling him, I have something technical that you don't know how to do it and I will do it. Okay, so you will make your company pay money, extra money than your salary for me to do your job. That creates a psychological barrier between you and the client. Um, uh, he will not tell you that, but many of the times when you send your solution to the chief technical officer and you don't find a reply back, don't have self-doubt that your solution is not good or you're not good or you didn't say it better. But the thing is, they might be not welcoming such solution from you, and maybe they had the idea and they will try to implement it themselves. Some countries, okay, some cultures, they always try to think like that. Okay, that's a technical solution and I'm a technical guy. What? I cannot do that. I will try to do it myself. Okay, so they cannot grasp the idea of outsourcing technical. Okay, so here it is. The commercial department, okay, they always ask the technical department for certain solutions and the technical department always say not feasible. Trust me, I've been like 20 years there and I've always asked for things that was the reply was always not feasible. And then I tried to push on them and get other third parties to do it. Then they start to implementing it. But the first thing is it's not feasible. We cannot do that. This is technically not feasible. So you as a commercial department, you don't know if it's technically feasible or not. So you take the words as it is. Okay, and that's the first problem. Now let's see what's the business approach. I have the experience about the business. I mean, each one of you as the business owner, you have the business knowledge and you know what exactly does this business need. What are the marketing department need and find it very hard to make it with the technical department. And then you will go to those people, the commercial departments, and tell them that you have the solution for the problem and it's ready and it's there. Then they will make the CTO accept your solution because the CTO, his job is to serve the commercial department. So the commercial department has their upper hand. Always put that in mind. sell to the CMO, not the CTO. Please take that in very, very, yani, trust me. That I've never went for the first time to the CTOs. I always go after going to the CMOs because the CMOs always cannot believe that their dreams are coming true by the solution. So the thing is, you need to understand the business needs and then offer this solution that you had from the pain from the business needs to the commercial departments. Then you will have the entrance. All right. So let's see. We said that we can have the business requests and the pain points from the business. So how are we going to do that? First of all, the word I hate my job is your ally, your friend. You want to know why they hate their job. This is your entry point. What are the why the time are being wasted? What are the repeated work they are doing? How they are taking the decisions? What makes them very slow in making offers or decisions or whatever? These things, these repeated works that you go to work every day and do it over and over and over, the same task again, uh, it's I don't know what you call it there, but we call it the donkey work, which is the work that you do every day without thinking about it, without doing things. It's very hard and it's taking a lot of time and no brain. Okay, the thing is, I want you to free your space for your brain and for your strategic decisions. So you don't have to do that. So the things that you hate about your job as a business user, okay, is uh, my role is to solve this. So the thing is, you need to know why do they think they are wasting time? Why do they hate their jobs? What are the repeated work? How do they make decisions? We will come to that later. And then you will do that by asking some questions. Okay, let's see. Okay, these are the 6 topics, okay, that I go and try to understand the business itself. It applies to all the business I've been dealing with, and I think it will apply to most of the businesses you will be dealing with. So you can take these questions as a framework for your consulting, okay, to understand what you really need to know before you think about the solution you are giving. Trust me, do not give the solution from the first time you are sitting with your client, okay? You need to know, you need to listen to them first. Then the second time you will have the meeting, you will have a more or and the best like pitch you will have. But from the first time, I don't recommend to give them the solution you are making. So the question is, what are the top strategic goals for the next 12 to 18 months? And which areas of business do you feel to underperforming compared to the competitors? Why I'm asking these questions, because I don't want to go to them with a solution that they will not be using in more than 2 years. So that would be like they don't want it. It's not painful. We're not thinking about it right now. So I want to know the strategic goals they are having, and I will tell you what to do with it in the coming slide. Okay. And what are the areas you are thinking I'm underperforming, because it will help you to determine what are the KPIs they will be thinking of when they are looking at your solutions. Okay. Then the operations and efficiency. Remember, we said about the repeated works and the hard works we are doing every day. So which daily task consume the most time of your team? If you can save time for the teams, remember, if you go to the even the solutions on the shelf on the internet, you will find like saying like it helps people save like 6% of their time, 80% of the time. So time is money in business. Okay, so you need to know what consumes their time, so you can have a KPI which is saving time. Where do you see the most duplicate of effort and the money will work? Trust me, whatever the company is, whatever it's large, it's government, it's whatever, you will find a lot of work that is being repeated every day, and people are feeling like really, really, really hate their jobs for doing the same thing every day. You need to know all these. And are these processes are being delayed because Sometimes your solution will be how to make it faster. So you have these three questions for the operations. Then the data and decision making. All businesses have business leaders who take the decision, and these decisions has to be fast. Like for example, if I'm in a university and I'm making a decision to do something with the students, I have to make it fast because most of the time we don't plan very well, so we will have to take this decision in the shortest time ever. Okay, so you need to know how do they take these decisions, what are the source of data. Like for the example I told you about, I had the source of data from the technical team from the data warehouse. Most probably you will have the same structure in every single business. They have CRM systems, they have sales people with sales reports, they will have somewhere they have the decisions, they have the data, sorry, that they take to make the decisions. So you need to know how and what are the access points for these data. John, we are in Korea. What time is it in Korea now?
Almost 2 a.m. in the morning.
Wow. God bless you. God bless you. And I hope you enjoy it and you don't feel like my voice is keeping you awake. Sorry for that. So then,
I have a question. Can I ask you some question?
yes, please.
As you know, there are some experts and non-experts in certain fields, like you mentioned in business and marketing. How much do you think AI can bridge this gap? And will the analogical educational gap still be relevant in the AI era?
Sorry, John, can you repeat the question again, but slowly?
Uh, as you know, there are some experts and non-experts in certain field, like you mentioned in business and marketing. How much do you think AI can bridge this gap? And will the analogical educational gap still be relevant in the AI era?
Okay. The first question is the certain knowledge between sales and marketing and how we can bridge the gap of the information, you mean? Or
I think I can
Um,
step in here. I believe he was asking, and please, John will let me know if this was correct. He was saying, to what extent can AI breach the knowledge gap? So
yeah.
we have experts in so-called the fields of business, in the fields of technology, in the fields of um, medicine. So he's saying now in the era of AI, everyone in the tip of their hands has access to any information they need quickly. And for us to process large amounts of data points, as you were mentioning, quickly. So he's asking, what is the role of the expert in the AI era? I believe this was what Junwo was saying.
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you.
So let me tell you something. Yes, the knowledge is there, but how to grab it is different between someone to another. Like for example, the books were there all the time since the old ages, but not everyone is a scientist. Okay, so how to extract the information and how to use the large language model to get you to the same exact information from its library, that will differ between someone to another. Okay, so how to know the business needs. Okay, it's hard. It's either you by experience. For example, I worked in a telecommunication company, so I know what are the pain points there, so I will know what they would love to see as a solution. Okay, but back in the day, for example, if I know now for the telecommunication that they have this problem and I want a solution for it, because back in the days when I worked in the telecommunication, I knew the problem, but I have no idea how to close that gap. Okay, because there was no large language model. But now I thought about, if there is a data warehouse and there is a chatbot, I can talk to it so I can extract the data from the data warehouse. That's what I need. Back in the day, you need to know SQL, for example, to extract the data from the database. Now, the AI close that gap by giving me the access to talk to the data warehouse without the language for the database. No, I can talk with it with my language, okay, in a normal language, and it will give me information. That's first. Second, the information that was there on the data warehouse, there was no processing for it. Like, for example, I know now that John Woo is in Korea, okay? But I have no idea. For example, if I'm giving the machine that John Woo is living in Korea, okay? So I don't have any other information that rather than John Woo and Korea. But now the large language model will know that John Woo is in Korea, Korea is on the Far East, and Korea has this and that. And John Woo is a young man, so he might be interested in knowing a lot about, for example, sports or AI or whatever. This context wasn't there. Okay, someone is opening the mic and playing with something, and then right. So let's get back to John Woo. So the gap here is now I can create my solution, okay, and I will tell you how I can do that. Now I can make a solution based on natural language, which is now you can make a solution based on Korean language, right? You can make a solution that every single Korean can talk with it, okay, in Korean. You don't have to know English for it, okay? And you can train the model and fine tune the model to understand more about the Korean culture. So it gives the Korean people more relevant context than what they would have from ChatGPT, for example. Okay, so this is how it closes the gaps. How to know the pain points? You have two ways. The first way is to have the experience about the business you are seeking. Like if you have experience in telecommunication, if you have experience in FMCG, whatever the business you are seeking is. Second, to use my six framework of questions that I'm giving you. If you give them these questions, okay, I will give you the very easy thing. If you give them these six questions and they reply to it and write it thoroughly in details, you can simply give it to ChatGPT and it will tell you a lot about insights about how to create something for them. Okay, so what you need to do is to copy these six, let's say six titles. It's 6 by 3. It's 18 questions. So you copy this question and make it as a form for consulting. Okay, so you go to the business, give them these 18 questions, let them answer these questions, and then you do your magic by leveraging these questions. Okay, and that's the thing. Large language models are very good in patterns. They are built on knowing and identifying patterns. Okay, so the large language model will see patterns that you might not be aware of. So it will give you what this business would need exactly. And that would of course need you to learn more about prompt engineering, but that's something else. We don't have the time for it now. But prompt engineering will give you the information how to make it like process this information and give you the outcome that you want in the certain context that you want. Okay, did I answer your question, John, or you want me to say something else?
It's enough, I think. Thank you for answering.
You're welcome. And you know what I do sometimes, John Woo, and I encourage you to do so? That's for the availability of large language models. If I'm having let's say a lecture like this, okay, and I'm not like, for example, you said they are not English talker or fluent in English, okay, so you can record this, okay, and give it to Notebook LM to transcript it, and it will give you insights on everything we have said in Korean. That's large language model. All right. So I encourage you to record this and put it to Notebook LM and get all the information. You can chat with me on Notebook LM as if you're chatting with me, as if you're chatting with this lecture. Okay. So we got the customer and market engagement. Why? I need to know where are the entry points I can get to the business to it from the customer perspective, so I can tell them that this will give you more revenue, and you will sell more with it. Okay. Then I need to understand the knowledge and talent. Do they really have the capacity and employees who will be working on it? And the technology and AI readiness, do they have the GPUs or whatever the CPUs they need for the certain solution I'll be giving? Okay, so why would I need that before I go to them with my solution? Because if I go to them and I tell them I have the solution for you to do this, and someone from the people who are staying, okay, is not very familiar with the large language model, we think that this needs a lot of GPUs that I will not be able to do it. Then you will come here and tell them that you have the DeepSeek solution that will be deployed on premises that will not cost them that much. Okay, so knowing all this information before you go with your own solution that you already have is better than going with the solution first. Okay, so you need to make the meeting first, go to the business people, ask them these questions, get this information, and then try to customize your solution based on the insights you will get on these 6 titles or the 18 questions. Okay, don't worry, all the examples will come. So, turning pain points into AI opportunities. So, most probably, after you ask these 18 questions, you will have 4 main topics you will talk about. Either you need to automate repeated tasks, okay, like getting meeting minutes, something for decision support, analyzing some sort of data, having the meeting minutes and sending to everyone the meetings for it, for the personal assistants and this kind of stuff. These are called automation, okay, and this is the core reason why we have make.com, that first logo on the left. It's make.com that makes the automation. It makes you put certain applications together and make them work without you being interfered. Okay, so the automation thing is one of the pillars. The second pillar is prediction. You can give a solution that can predict what they will have in the coming days. And also, like, for example, 11 Labs. What does 11 Labs do? Okay, they create voice bots and customer care bots. That's based on the large language models. Because now they turn the transcripted words, which is the knowledge base of the customer care agent, okay, to text to speech. Then you say it to the customer, okay, and that's the core of the 11 Labs, for example. And another example, which is interviewer AI, what they actually do, they kill the repetitive work of HR. HR used to have many applications, okay, and they have to go through all these applications to know which are good and which are bad and which are less and which are that. Okay, even for the universities, they have applications from enormous amounts of students. Now you can inject all these CVs, for example, in the AI, and it gives you what's the best for your job description. Okay, and actually you can give them the job description and give them the knowledge base, and they do the first interview instead of having a professor, especially a whole day. A whole professor is just interviewing the students. Now the students can be interviewed using AI, interview with an avatar, is talking to them, knowing all the information they need as if it's in a real interview. Okay, so interviewer AI, for example, it's a platform. They took out a hell of work being done by people every day, and it's painful and it's really making people hate the job. Like, imagine yourself a recruiter or an HR that need to make 1,000 interview as first interview skimming. You would hate your job. Now you will love it because these 1,000 CVs will be shrink to like 10 or 20, whatever you like, and the AI will do all the interviews for you. Okay, this was examples for that. So before I go to that, because I'm going with, oh, we have an avatar here. Hello, Jay Song. So Now, before I get to the hello, dear. Okay, before I get to the example that we will go through it together one by one, and it's a very good example for Dr. Farhana and Dr. Layla will love that example that I will be going on. So before that, does anyone has a question for me? شاهد Juhaima, I'm using automation to send daily reminders via n8n. Yes, n8n is like make.com, exactly. Yes, you're right. Juhaima, you are very into AI tools, right? So why don't you come out wherever you are? Juhaima, where are you? Can you talk to us? So nobody has.
Yes, I am specializing AI.
Okay, so you love AI. By the way, for those who didn't attend the last time, if you have a question or you have any interaction that you want to speak in Arabic, tell me and I will reply in Arabic and in English for the non-Arabic speakers. So do not make the language a barrier. Just speak with whatever language you have and I will deal with it. All right?
Okay, thank you.
قولي لي بقى. ايوه قولي لي بقى. فهمتي ايه من اللي فات؟
إنه أنا أقصد إنه أنا أستخدم ال N8N عشان أسوي automation مثلًا تذكيرات أو مرة سويتها عشان التدريب التعاوني إنه يرسل مثلًا للشركات الCV حقي، بس إنه أنا ما أعرف إنه هل الN8N أقدر أستخدمه مثلًا في large systems أو مثلًا أنا عندي فكرة أقدر أستخدم فيها هذا الautomation يعني الأتمتة أو لأ، هنا الفكرة. لأنه استخدام التقنيات الtechnical اللي كذا تساعد الأفكار أكثر، مثل شرح اليوم كان جدًا مفيد الصدق. فهنا كان سؤالي أنا، إنه أنا أقدر أستخدم الأتمتة عشان أأتمت مثلًا نظام كبير، يعني مو مثلًا تذكيرات أو أشياء يومية أو إيميلات؟ إنه هل في examples لشركات استخدموا الأتمتة؟
معلش انا ممكن اعرف ايه الاتمته؟
الأتمتة مثل إن لما يعني بدون تدخل بشري، إنك يعني مثلًا ترسل إيميل، الإيميل هذا يرسله الAI.
اوكي الاوتوميشن الاوتوميشن
أيوه.
فريم ورك بتاع ال N8N. اوكي فهمت قصدك.
Yes.
So here we have our friend asking about the automation project. So the automation here is a framework that is leveraging the already solutions that are there. Okay, so like for example, I want to make a chatbot that gets the request from my customer. Okay, so the customer calls and asks about how to deliver what are the price of a certain product. Okay, so I have here, I will put, for example, ChatGPT as the first agent. Okay, and then ChatGPT will deliver it to the second agent, which is the warehouse. The warehouse is a a knowledge base, for example, which will be, for example, on Google Drive. Okay, and then it will look on Google Drive and see the product and see the price, and then reply with an email to the customer with the price and all the specs and everything like this. This automation framework are being done by Make, by N8N, by all these kind of stuff. So the thing about the automation platforms are they are using the already available solutions on the shelf. That's first. Okay, so you will use Google Drive, you will use ChatGPT, you will use a Microsoft Exchange. You will use something that is already there. That's first. Second, it's all built on cloud. So you will have a problem with the client when they tell you that they don't want their information on cloud. So you will not be able to do this automation by these automated platforms. So you will have to do that as an application. and I will tell you exactly how to do that in the coming slides. Okay, so let us for all this. I feel like I've bombarded you with a lot of information, but I need to give you an example. Okay, that's for Dr. Laila would love it. Let me, if I'm going to a university, for example, okay, so I have an idea, which is I see all the students need the professor to be with them 24/7, and that's not possible in the real life. Okay, so by large language model, I can have every single lecture Dr. Laila will give, or Farhana, for example, will give. Every one of them will give a lecture, okay, and I will record the lecture and I will transcript the lecture and put it as a knowledge base and make for them an avatar. This avatar will be available on a platform 24/7 for the students. So if you had the lecture on the university and the other day you forgot about something, or you need to ask Dr. Farhana or Dr. Laila about something that you missed, you cannot call them at 1 a.m. in the night. For example, if you are in Korea and you had this question now, you wouldn't call her in the morning, because in the morning you will have in the morning will be at night. So the thing of trying to reach your professor 24/7 is not possible. Okay, but if you have your professor as an avatar in your platform with all the lectures they had and all the words they said and all the questions they answered during the lecture, okay, now as if you are again in the lecture and as if you are asking the professor on time, whenever you want, by whatever way you want, at any time. Okay, so here that's my solution I'm selling for the university. Come on, you are the university, you have the professor. After finishing the lecture, he doesn't want to get bombarded by questions from every single student in the class. Then students will call him, then the students will ask for extra sections. Okay, that's bombarding the professor. And the pain for the students is that they need extra explanation for the topic. They need to talk to the professor, but they cannot access the professor 24/7. They barely can ask them on the university. Okay, so that's the problem I'm trying to solve here. So what is the pain? The pain is the students need to have the professor 24/7, and of course during the exams, that's very stressful. You want to talk to your professor every day, and you want to sleep beside the professor before you go to the to the exam. So it's hard for you now. So you have a big pain. Who is facing that pain? Remember, these are the questions I gave you the last lecture. I don't know if you recorded them or not. So who is facing the pain? The students are facing that pain so much, and the professors as well, because they are the ones, they have to be bombarded with the questions, they have to be bombarded with the phone calls, they have to be bombarded with extra time on university. Okay, how painful it is. So I would say it's very painful for the professors, bit less painful for the institutes that give courses, for example, like I don't know, like master class, or like I don't know what yeah, you know, the institutes that you go and take courses with it. Okay, they of course they need it as well. Okay, but it's less painful. Okay, so and the students is very painful for them. Why? Because they feel lost when they don't feel their professor with them every day, especially on the day, on the night of the exam. Okay, so what do they do now? They call the professor, they bombard the professor, and the professor has to have many long times replying to their questions, and many times repeating themselves again because the student was not listening in class. Okay, so they have to explain it again and again and again and again. Okay, so what they do now, they get the calls. Why they should change? To save their time, right? To give access to the students. The students will be very happy with the university. The university like reputation would be very high, and technical and technological oriented university with the AI technology and this kind of stuff. Why should they change? Because they need the students to be accessing their knowledge base without bombarding the professor. Why should they take the solution from me? Actually, because I don't know anyone else did it before, maybe. But if not, I will have to give them an edge for taking it from me. For example, I know you, so I will do the first two lectures for free. Whatever it is. Okay, I just came up with it. So that solution, do you think Dr. Layla would benefit your university?
Definitely, definitely. This will benefit the university, the faculty members, the students as well. So there are many stakeholders here that you're alleviating all of these pains to. The instructor does not have the time or the energy to
Yes.
be there for the students 24/7. And the students would like to also alleviate their pains, where we want them to make sure that whatever questions they have, we can reach them as soon as possible. So the professor or the digital twin that you're talking about is definitely something alluring for us. So definitely we think of adopting this maybe in the near future.
so, so you guys, you students, go ahead quickly and make this solution and sell it to Dr. Laila quickly. So,
But then what
so
is the role of the instructor or the professor in the future? That's the question.
he will give the lecture because without the professor, you will have no knowledge base for the chatbot to talk about because you are making the digital twin for the professor himself. So the lecture that has the information that the professor gave and the questions that the students ask and all the points they discussed will be with the chatbot. So the professor will still be the professor with his experience and everything. But the thing is the accessibility for the professor's knowledge, this is where it comes. And of course, you can ask ChatGPT to talk with you about certain subject, but you will never have ChatGPT to know what was the professor saying during the lecture and what they were lecturing about and what are the main topics they will be examining you for. That's the thing about this solution. And
Mohammed, I have a question here. So, in the beginning of this lecture, you were mentioning that if you are two different students or two different people for that matter, putting a prompt in ChatGPT, you might not receive the same information. So, how does that look like with teaching? Is it, what if it's a student puts a prompt or a question and receives something completely different than his classmate that probably put in the same prompt, but for some reason, due to, past history, received something else?
okay, that's a very, very good question. Thank you for that. So we talked at the beginning of the lecture that if I say the same prompt to the chatbot, to ChatGPT, for example, me and Janwu, my friend, okay, it will give us two different answers, okay, for the same exact question. Why is that? For two reasons. The first reason is the knowledge base, or let's say the library for ChatGPT, is vast, enormous. Every single text on the internet has been there for ages. Okay, it's very generic and has all the information for it. That's first. Second, within the chatbot, there are two. Let's say in the back end of the chatbot, there is something called the context window. Okay, so it's the rules that the chatbot has to talk about. So the chatbot has the rule of do not give people the same exact answer. Okay, even if they ask the same exact question. So the chatbot goes to an enormous and generic information. Second, he's been told not to give the same answer. For Dr. Laila, she is asking, how are we going to do that? I'm the same doctor. I need to give the student the same answer. Yes, because the knowledge base of your digital twin is Dr. Laila on digital. The things that you have said during the lecture itself. Okay, so the chatbot knowledge base will not be enormous at ChatGPT will not be open for Google or getting it from anywhere else unless you give it the permission, of course. But I mean, that digital twin will be the knowledge base of it will be from your lecture. So the information that anyone of the students will ask about it, and this information was in the lecture, so the digital twin will reply from the same exact lecture with the same exact information. Maybe change in the wording, but will be the same information. Unlike ChatGPT, because ChatGPT has Dr. Laila and Dr. Farhana and all the doctors everywhere. So he gets the information from everywhere, sometimes from this, sometimes from that, and even the algorithm works differently there. So for us, it will be different because we will have the knowledge base for every digital twin with his twin. Like if you talk to Dr. Laila, if you talk to Dr. Laila digital twin, it will reply with Dr. Laila's lectures. If you talk to the digital twin of Dr. Farhana, Dr. Farhana's lectures will be replying to you. Did I answer your question?
Yes, definitely. And just yesterday, we were having this discussion with one of the entities. They were saying that they're putting all of their documents and all of their legal archives in one area, and they're applying AI. So when they want to search for something, it doesn't search the whole web, it searches their archives only. So that's something similar to the discussions we were having recently with some other entities. So I appreciate this.
Thank you. Actually, yes. For example, if you go to Gemini, for example, and you put at the beginning of the conversation, it will give you the option to talk to you from certain knowledge. So you can choose to talk to you from your own Google Drive, for example. So when you talk with Gemini, it will give you the reply from Google Drive. But the thing is, most of the entities you will be working with, they don't want to put their data on the web. Okay, for example, if I'm in a university, I cannot put the legal documents, my legal documents on cloud, on Google Drive, or whatever this is. So we need to create a whole solution, okay, to be embedded on premises on the university using, for example, open source models like OLAMA, like the new, I don't know, call it OpenAI 3.5, I think. OpenAI released a new open source model, like for DeepSeek is an open source model. These models you can apply to the university without jeopardizing the university's data or legal documents. So yes, we do that. For one of the solutions I've done to it's a lot UAE and now, okay, that every department has their own let's say professor or the AI genius they have. For the legal department, they have all the documents they have from the past, the future, and everything is there, and they don't just talk to it, they have it on every single meeting. They invite this AI to the meetings. So in order, if they say something that was there in a legal document conflicting with it 10 months before, no human being can remember this, but the AI will. So yes, exactly, that's what you're talking about, Dr. Layla. It's, yeah, we do that. It's called the department genie, which is every department puts all the documents in it and talk with their own documents, and every user has certain documents to talk to. Because, for example, if I'm the head of the legal department, I don't want a newcomer to know about my legal documents. So yeah, by the user authentication, you get certain stuff or certain documents you can chat with. But that's exactly what we are talking about for the students as well. So they will have the knowledge base for the doctor or the professor. They can talk to the professor 24/7, and you can add a layer for it, which is, for example, HeyGen, which is making the digital twins. It's called HeyGen. HeyGen is a platform where you can upload your a video of yours, 2 minutes video with your voice and everything, and it creates a digital twin for you, which is avatar. So you will actually see the doctor in front of you and talking to you with his own voice and explaining to you what you had in the lecture. Okay, so I want someone to tell me how am I going to implement this solution without not, I don't want much technical. I will tell you how to do that technical without having even the technical background, but I want you to tell me how will be the framework. And you can, of course, if someone wants to speak in Arabic, just go ahead. I will not move before you tell me how you're going to do that. Razan Yunus. I remind you all that you can speak in Arabic. Come on, guys. Come on. You said that you will be interacting and you will be like talking and asking and everything. So I understand that you don't like this lecture, like the one before. طيب, let me ask محمود الخبيري. محمود,
ايوه مع حضرتك.
اهلا بيك اهلا بيك يا محمود.
بص يا دكتور، انا بس بقفل المايك او كده اغلب الوقت بسبب ان انا يعني الشارع الرئيسي ففي اصوات غريبه هتتسمع، فانا اسف يعني مبدئيا.
لا لا مفيش حاجه خالص ولا يهمك. قول لي بس كده انت في رايك كده ازاي ممكن انفذ السولوشن ده عشان اعرف ابيعه. ايه
هو انت
الفريم ورك؟
مثلا ممكن مثلا استعمل يعني اللي هو لينك تشين، او مثلا استعمل عموما الراج، ان انا اربط الماتيريال بتاعتي او كده باي لارج لانجوج موديل، واقدر ان انا بقى اللي هو الحاجات التانية مثلا ان انا احول الفويس لتكست او كده، وبعد كده ابعته لللارج لانجوج موديل يروح يدور مثلا في الفيكتور داتابيس بتاعتي ويرجع بالاجابه، وتبقى الموضوع كده يعني.
انت صوتك مصري يا محمود.
اه، ما
انت
انا
مصري؟
مصر.
ازيك يا محمود عامل ايه؟
الحمد لله يا دكتور.
الحمد لله يا حبيبي. مين تاني؟ who else can tell us before I start telling you. Rima from Eduvance. ريما. طيب, تولين الحربي. Tulin, yeah, we want you to open the mic and talk to us in Arabic or in English and tell us how do you think we can do this solution? Nobody's answering. Okay. I can't open my microwave. Okay. Uh, um, I have there's someone asking a question, but I couldn't understand the question. It's Juhaima. Can you tell us the question, please? Because I can't read it. استخرج الرؤى ليه أنا وإيش فائدته إيش ممكن يفيدنا. Juhaima, I couldn't really understand the question. Can you
Juhaima, if you would like to please comment on the question you included.
in any language, Juhaima, take your يعني be very open with any language you want.
أيوة، كنت أقصد أن أنت قلت مثلا كيف راح أستخدم السوليوشن هذا مثلا، كيف راح أقنع الكلاينتس فيه أيا كان السوليوشن، يعني whatever هذا أو شيء ثاني، إنه أستخرج الانسايت من أجفل من اللي أنا سويت، مثلا سويت AI أو إيش راح يفيد، يعني إيش فائدته، إيش راح يسوي مثلا في كل المجالات. فمثل هنا يفيد البيشنتس، يفيد الدكتور، فأنا أستخرج إيش فوائده. فأنا لما أستخرج إيش فوائده أبين اللي قدامي، الشخص اللي قدامي اللي مثلا راح يستثمر في هذا الشيء، آه، أبين فوائد الشيء اللي أنا قاعدة أسويه. مثل لو سويت AI أو سويت فأنا كنت أحسب إن السؤال إن أنت لما سألت إنه كيف أنا راح أقنع اللي قدامي بهذا الشيء، فأنا قلت أول شيء نبدأ بفوائد الشيء يعني للمدى البعيد. أيوه فأنا أقصد كذا، أكيد أجاوب على السؤال الأول.
اوكي فهمت قصدك. ربنا يخليك يا ربنا يخليك. Thank you. So Joanna was saying that she was answering the question of how am I gonna tell uh, the client what are I'm gonna tell them what are the benefits of this solution for them so they can invest on it. But my question was how are we gonna do that? For example, what I thought of is I will record first. I will record the lecture. Okay, let's talk about the prototype you will do. Okay, so you go to Dr. Farhana and ask her, please, doctor, I'm gonna put a recorder on the lecture you are giving to the students today. Okay, and let her speak freely and talk with all the students all the lecture. Then after she finishes, you will take that recording and make a transcript for it. Okay, then you will create a chatbot, and I will tell you exactly how. But actually, you can create the chatbot, okay, and give it this knowledge base and ask it to be a digital twin for Dr. Farhana to reply for all this lecture, okay. Then now you will have a chatbot that has the knowledge of Dr. Farhana during the lecture. Okay, so about the avatar, you can record Dr. Farhana video recording, but you have to have her permission first for sure, and then give it to HeyJane and create a digital twin for Dr. Farhana. And now you will make that digital twin or the avatar talk with the chatbot. But if you want to make a prototype first to start with it, you will just create a chatbot with only the knowledge base of Dr. Farhana, of the lecture of Dr. Farhana, and then make a student try to talk with it. So how we're gonna do it? We will just use transcription model like Whisper or whatever transcription model you will have, a recording gadget, and that's it. Can you imagine? Is there a registration for the session today? I don't know, maybe that's.
Yes, there will be, and we will be sharing it shortly.
All right. So now after I gave you the solution and we replied to these 6 questions, I'm telling you these 6 questions you can use it with whatever solution you are giving or whatever project you are having. If you can answer all these 6 questions, most probably you will have a very good minimal viable product that is a go-to-market approved. Yeah, for me, if someone is asking me if they should go with the solution or not, I give them these exact 6 questions, and depending on their answers, I tell them that their solution will be okay or not okay. So if you are replying to these 6 questions with your solution, and you find honest reply, and you find that your honest reply to all these 6 questions are getting all ticked right, then you can go with your solution. Okay. Getting back, yes. So building your first prototype. Now, thanks to large language model, we can build a prototype using. I will tell you what I do exactly. Okay. I take the solution idea and I give it actually to ChatGPT. If you have your transcription, for example, your recording transcribed from Dr. Farhana during the lecture, okay, and you took that recording and you give it to ChatGPT, and you started to ask ChatGPT to not reply outside this knowledge base, you can see the reply of the chatbot that you will need to create. So because we are having the large language model as the operating system for all our solutions, anything could be tested by ChatGPT, by Gemini, by all these chatbots that are already available. You just need to think how you're going to do it. Okay, so I can give all the lectures of Dr. Laila and put it in one folder in Google Drive, okay, and start talking with it, and I see, okay, it's working well. No, it needs some tweaking. I have to put guardrails to not to talk about anything outside the lectures. I need to put guardrails to not talk about things that are against the university legal terms or whatever it is. Okay, I got all these tweaks. I will create now my solution after testing it with the large language model already available there. If it's automation, the good news is, and Juhaim of course can can help with that. The good solution, the good thing is many people, okay, especially the small and medium enterprises, they have no problem to have their solutions on cloud. Okay, so you can build an automation agency based on make.com. That's your agency. You just automate all their tasks. And guess what? Every single company has a repetitive work every day. If you can automate that, you will make it. And that's the core of HubSpot, for example. HubSpot made all this multi-million dollars business based on automating. Okay. And the thing is, we have a treasure called vibe coding, which is like Replit, like Google Firebase Studio, and most recently, and that's amazing, and that's the best I use, which is Google AI Studio. If you go to Google AI Studio and click build, and you give it a prompt like, I want to do something like blah, 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 okay, it will create the code for you, and it will give you a preview, and you will see the application in front of you. And you can share the link with anyone who you want to try to share with to test it. Okay, so now the solutions in your head doesn't need that much of coders and developers for prototyping. So now I can have a prototype with vibe coding. Build anything. Go after this lecture and try it on Google AI Studio. Try to give it whatever prompt you want for whatever solution you have in mind. I look at it and tell them the colors, the logos, the names, anything. It will create a whole application, a web application just in front of you in minutes, and you can edit it. Okay. So after you have it, you have the prototype, and you come to me and you show me the prototype, and I'm dazzled with it. I want it. I need that solution. You can have an upfront. With this upfront, you can have a developer to create the application for you to be available for deployment, right? So now all you have to have for the beginning of your project is your mind, your strategy, your mental abilities. That's what AI is all about. Okay, now everyone, your mental abilities, your creativity are no longer embedded within your skull. Now you can get it out. Okay, so if you have all these solutions in your mind, you can vibe code it and have this prototype and sell it before you even implement it. Okay, I sold a project called Brand 360, what was the first solution I made for Salat. I sold it and I took money before I even deployed it, just by vibe coding. I have 18, I'm not kidding, 18 solutions sold and deployed, all of them without writing one single code, just by vibe coding. So if you don't know what vibe coding is, go to Replit and Google Firebase Studio, and for free you will find Google AI Studio. It's for free. Go for it and try it and build whatever you want. Okay, and actually now we have 20 developers in the company. Not one of them writing code. They're all vibe coding, and they are developers. All right. So that's the thing. That's a big thing, and a big thanks to large language models. Okay, so after you made your prototype, you can test your idea and see what it is. And this is the last thing, which is from prototype to business value. Now, I'm ready to sell my product. I have something called Tick Me. Tick is like doing the right thing. Tick Me, it's T for testing, test it on real users, test it with real students. I'm talking about, for example, the solution we are talking about for the university. Test it with a real student, see if it gives the answers that would Dr. Farhana give it in a lecture or not, then improve it and collect feedback from them to improve it. Okay, so TICME, test, improve, collect, and measure impact. And that's a very important thing. The ROI. Nobody wants to pay anything without knowing what they will have. So from the questions, the 18 questions we have I've told you about previously on this lecture, okay, you will know how to make a KPI for your project. So if you are doing something to solve time problem, though you need to know how much time do they take to create this process before you give them an automation solution. So if they are taking 5 hours and your automated solution will make it in minutes, that's how you prove your ROI. Okay? If they are paying a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of whatever, you need to know what are the KPIs that you will be benchmarking with after you deploy your solution. Okay? Now I've finished. Okay, I will like wrap it up. So the first thing is think about the business from the digital transformation perspective. Think about how to solve the problems and what LLM or the AI can be a layer on top of this transformation. Okay, do not think of the solution first. Think of the pain and how am I gonna solve that pain and what exactly the large language model role inside that solution. Okay, so do not close your mind on the available tools on the AI. No, think about the large language model in general and how it works, and then think about how you can implement this to your solution that will transform the business digitally. Second of all, try always to solve the commercial department problem, not the technical department problem. Okay, go to the commercial people, go to business people, okay, and try to solve their own problems. And even the questions should be asked to the commercial people, okay, because the technical people are doing nothing but serving the commercial people. Okay, so don't go the other way around. Like if you remember on the marketing lecture, we said listen to your customer. Your customer are the commercial team, not the technical team. Maybe the technical team will be your user, but who will pay for you, who will need to feel the pain relieved, are the commercial people. Okay, so that's the other thing. After you know what you want to build, ask yourself the 6 questions we talked about for go-to-market approval, then start building it by vibe coding. Okay, it won't take you one day until you get a very nice application. I've never been a technical background, but now I do a lot of very nice prototypes on Google AI Studio with all the designs and everything. You just tell it what you want. That's the magic out of it. After you have this prototype, sell it, get the upfront amount, and then start deploying. And do never forget, you will always, if you go to large companies or universities or governmental entities, you will always ask to be implementing this on premises. And that means you need to know how to deploy open source large language models and fine tune it. Okay? Always start small. I know you've been listening to always start big. No, start step by step. Baby, small steps first. If you can sell it to a student, if the student bought from you or thinks that you relieve the pain by chatting with the doctors, okay. If you find, for example, go to Dr. Farhana or whoever on the university, okay, and give them the solution. Let them see what they can do with it. If they see that it's replying as if they are replying to the student, they will buy it. They will tell the university to buy the solution from you. Okay, so that's for example, yeah. Okay, I hope I delivered this lecture. It was يعني I hope you liked it. I hope you found it beneficial for you, and I'm open now for any questions you want.
I really want to thank you, Mr. Mohammed, because we see a lot of the links to the earlier session that you gave as well about starting from the pain points.
Thank
So
you.
I believe when we start from the pain points, we can understand the marketing strategy, we can understand how to communicate the story. When we start from the pain points, we can realize how can we leverage AI to help ease those pain points, those painstakingly repetitive tasks that all of us, I'm sure even students, hate, for example, note taking, or hate, for example, I don't like I know I'm a professor at the university, but I don't like grading tests. I love the student side and the engagement side, but this to me is painstaking, repetitive work that can, if AI can do it better than I can in a very objective way, then why not? So I believe starting from the pain points really adds a lot of value, with how we leverage the technology to also ease our processes. And also, I believe all of the tools that you've mentioned, from the Google AI Studio to the Vibe in the coding, to we have all of these access to these wonderful tools where prototyping doesn't seem as scary, that anyone with lack of technical expertise or knowledge can go and try to play around with things and actually develop a solid prototype. And then linking it back to the business value is very important, as well as how does it actually serve my stakeholders? How does it serve my customers? I believe is a very beautiful loop that you've summarized very well today. And we really thank you for all of your time and your expertise and your amazing engagement strategies with the students, with the participants. We really, really are honored. I will leave
Thank
now
you.
the
It's my honor.
floor for a couple of questions, because as usual with Mr. Mohammed, we always have to go a little bit over time, but we know it's because we're having such an engaging session. Any questions? Comments? If someone wants to connect this to their own projects that they're working on, please. We have Mr. Mohammed, who is a guru in this, who has worked extensive years in this field. So definitely we would like to be able to ask him questions.
Yeah, in whatever language, don't make the language a barrier. In whatever language you want, just give me the question and I will translate and reply to you in both languages. So please go ahead if you have any question, even related to your own projects. If it changed anything in your mindset of approaching your projects, and even to investors, because the investor is thinking the same way, because the investor is not technical. The investor is a business guy who needs to know how you're gonna ease the pain for the clients. So they will be asking you the same questions. So if you want to have any question, please go ahead, and I'm here for you.
Mr. Mohammed, if you can, maybe if it's not too much, if we can ask you to add the link, or later on, you can share the links of the Google AI Studio, of the Vibe for the coding, so we can make our wonderful participants kind of explore these links, explore these websites. I think this would be a very great opportunity for them.
Of course, I will send it right away. If nobody is gonna ask me any question, or you don't have anything, I can prepare. For example, I can put it in the slides before I send it to you. I can put the links on the slides before I send it to you, and yeah, you can give it to the students for sure.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm sure that they will really appreciate this.
Thank you. I'm honored. I'm honored.
We have many thanks to you in the chat. So it's a very insightful and inspiring session. Thank you so much for this nice workshop. So we have lots of thanks and gratitude to you and for
Thanks.
your wonderful time.
Thank you. I'm grateful for you all to have the time to listen and have the time to take all this. A lot of I feel like I have bombarded you with a lot of information, but it's my passion to talk with students and talk with young people, like my son. So I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope that it wasn't so heavy, and I hope I could give it to you in a simple term. And if you don't have anything, then uh, I'll be very sorry for that because I love interacting with you guys, but I will understand. So, do you have any question before we leave?
I guess not. I think they made up for it in the first session with all of the questions that they didn't want to let you uh, go. But and some of them are saying that they don't have any previous information in business and AI, but they learned so much from this session and it completely changed their perspectives on AI and business. What I once thought was complicated now feels exciting, and I realize it just takes an open mind.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. That's very heartwarming words.
wonderful. So
Thank
a
you.
lot of thanks and gratitude to you.
Thank
And
you.
I believe now for next steps, we've prepared for you a very engaging next couple of months with wonderful sessions that Ms. Farhana will be sharing with you in the next couple of days, inshallah. So what we've done now is already scheduled the topics and already scheduled the preliminary dates for these workshops. So you'll have the plan well ahead of time. Also, keep an eye out on the YouTube channel that we have the APCG 2026 YouTube channel. And we have now posted two of the workshops. So the rest will be posted this session and also the session by Dr. Maher, who provided a session on project management, will also be shared on the YouTube channel. The next steps also now we're still in the process of finalizing the mentors with and linking them to the projects. This will also be finalized quite soon. There were a couple of projects that we still were trying to find the link with the right mentor. This will be done also within the next week or so, inshallah. So thank you for your engagement. I know that some of you are awake since 2 a.m. in Korea time. Some of you are in different parts of the world, joining us after hours, after your sessions in university. So we are really appreciative of your time and energy. And definitely, we have more sessions to come with Mr. Muhammad. If he graces us once again with his wonderful workshops, obviously, this would be wonderful for us. And definitely, I don't want to be announcing things too soon, but we would love to host you, Mr. Muhammad, in person during the hackathon sessions that will be happening in Jeddah. We would
Inshallah.
love to have you join us at UBT and to see the finalists as well in person. I think it would be a great opportunity to meet you also in person and to meet the finalists hopefully very soon. And
I'll be honored.
this would be our honor as well. So uh,
That's my honor. And actually, if it's starting from January, I think I'll be in Riyadh for not less than 5 to 6 months. So yeah, and I think I'll be there, inshallah.
perfect, perfect, perfect. So this is great for us. So hopefully makes travel easier and quicker to Jeddah, inshallah. And
Inshallah.
definitely really looking forward to meeting you all in person. Thank you all so
Inshallah.
much for
Inshallah.
your great time.
I can't wait for that. Aura is someone. Aura is raising her hand or his hand. Aura. Maybe she or he raised their hands mistakenly or something, maybe. Okay, I have a question. If one team member doesn't attend the workshops, what can we do about it? No, that's not for me. When we'll be able to contact with our mentors? No, okay, we have a question in chat. Aura saying that, that's a question for you, Dr. Laila, I think.
So it's not a problem. You can just, I believe the attendance sheet, Farhana, if you can correct me, they have to add all of the team members?
Just the team leader will have to fill it up and add the team members who have attended the session. Also, if I may add, Sama, you can email us on the name of your team member who is actually not responding, and we'll see what we can do on our side, inshallah.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much for your time. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. Once
You're
again.
welcome. You're welcome. If you guys, when I send the links for the tools and this kind of stuff, if you find it, I think it would be very easy for you. If you see, there are a lot of educational videos about it. But if you are stuck with the tools or something, we can make another session with the tools and dive into it together, inshallah. Okay.
That would be great. I would be the first person to enroll in this.
Thank you. Thank you. That's my honor. That's my honor, doctor.
Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Thank
Take
you.
care.
Yeah,
Bye.
good evening. Good night. Bye bye.